Hey guys, let's do today's recap. Wednesday, June 29th. So I took three trades today total. One was Amazon and a Netflix in the morning, and then in the afternoon it was Tesla. So let's look at what Amazon did yesterday. So look at the fall. So it was a pretty weak price action, and you clearly knew that the bears are under control. So for me, I just wanted to draw some levels. So this was a level for me. This was a level for me. And the reason for this is you can see here, can see here, can see here, can see here. So it's essentially a zone for me to go after. And as you can see, this is going to be, it is this zone. So this is what I was targeting. And my plan was if the Amazon is above this one, it will be on a long side, and if it somehow this range is rejected, in that case I will be looking for a short entry. So let's go on a 5 minute. Pretty good volume in the morning. As you can see, this is my bottom level, and it was drawn basically on the pre-market on a 5 minute chart. It was not even an hourly level. So my plan was that, okay, you know what, for some reason, if this is taken down, in that case I will be looking for a short entry, but the ideal short will be here, because here you can have a stop loss right over the once the high of the day is broken at that moment. So I think it was 920, 925. That's when I took a trade. I have a feeling it was on this one, on this green candle. So as you can see, I did have contracts and I was briefly red, but this zone, when it was rejected, I was like, okay, I have a reason to be in a trade. So here you get a confirmation. Excuse me. VWAP is broken down. The prices are getting narrow. You know, the 9 and 20 EMAs are getting narrow. You have a green candles, but there's not much volume on those. There's not much of a breadth of the candles too. So you know, okay, you know what, it is the time you would have a flush. So my plan was to essentially come and sell everything at this level, but it didn't come, and I ended up selling, I think it was 110 put at I think around 11:10. So I think, yep, I think this is where I ended up selling. And the main thing was I was expecting a flush actually after the first EMA, first VWAP down, second VWAP down. So it was like, okay, you know, the third time it goes, it's gonna go really big on a downward, and I just didn't have it. And I was like, okay, you know what, that's fine. I'm not gonna wait for the entire day and get out. So it was not a huge one. I think 1.9 something was my entry, 2.4 was my sell. So it was like a 25-26% trade. Let's go over the second one, the Netflix. Netflix, as you can see, let's go back on my preferred setup just to kind of get some levels on this. So this was a value, this was a value on a yesterday's action. So I was like, okay, you know, I could go after this one. This is the another one on the hourly I was after. You can see here. So you have to draw and structure these charts in advance. If you don't have it, I think there will be a struggle, because then every candle is going to be kind of switching your confirmation from a long to short. Yesterday, same flush. It was a pretty weak action on the Netflix, and I had this chart in mind. I don't know why I did not trade it. I think this candle did provide that confirmation. What I was looking for, made a higher low and a confirmation. So you know that any retracement to this one is going to be a short, and I don't know why I was not even looking at that. So anyways, so come today, I had these levels in mind. Go to 5 minutes, and I think Netflix I took 175, but 945 was my entry, which is right here. And it's pretty obvious why the 945. I think I should have done the same thing on Amazon, but I think I ended up entering a little early on the Amazon. Anyways, so here you entered, this is your stop loss. The high of the day, if you're on a short side, you will be having a stop loss. If you're a tight player, then you can certainly have a stop loss if the pivot, which is the close of yesterday, which is right here. So yeah, depending on, you know, how you want to play, you could, I usually, if I know that yes, it's Wednesday, had it been Thursday or Friday, yes, I will be getting out here. So in this particular case, this would have been my stop loss on this candle. But since this candle never closed above this level, so I would be staying in the trade. So the stop loss, it's not a breach. Stop loss will be a breach and a close of a candle on a 5 minute. So I think 955 is my entry. It was 110 puts, and so right there. Uh, Let me just confirm it. 933 is my entry, not 955. 955, I think I ended up. Nope, I take it back. On Netflix, I have entry at 945. So this is my entry, and I ended up getting. So you can see the VWAP. One down, second down, third time when it happened, you have the flush. And this is what I was expecting on the Amazon also. Since I didn't see, that's why I just wanted to get out. So Netflix was actually overall a better trade. I think it was a 40% trade. And overall, it's a pretty small range day. The low of the day are hardly broken, and then even if it is broken, it is reclaimed right away. So it's a range day. That's your opening range right there. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So high and the low. So this is your opening range, and even if it is breached on either side, it is quickly reclaimed. Then the entire day the price action stayed in the range. And my reason to not be aggressive about in this day was, as you can see, the SPY had a pretty aggressive day. So you expect market to take a breather. You can have a continuation, but the odds of that happening will be pretty low. This is what I do. I would like to keep those gaps. So as you can see, somehow I think those are old levels, old gaps. I think they are already breached. Anyways, so SPY did the same. QQQ did the same. It was a pretty aggressive trend day yesterday, and I know some of you did have a good trades on those also. So a range day is more likely. It's all name of a probability. So probability of a range day was a high, and if that's the case, it's okay. It's okay not to invest too much of a time on those. So that was the Netflix. The third trade I took was my beloved Tesla, and here is why. Look at the downtrend, hourly down. I think this is the action you would see in pretty much every ticker. For me, I was expecting that somehow Tesla will be finding a 670 zone as a hold. And if not 670, certainly 660. So I was more expecting this one, and it didn't obviously happen. So Tesla ended up finding a support on this area. So hourly downtrend, as you can see, yesterday's high pre-market and the opening high, and then it is a range. So I wanted to now go on a 5-minute charts and see what is Tesla doing. This was a high risk. Normally I don't do these sort of things, but it did somehow worked out. And I think you all have heard that if you keep doing this thing again and again, you spend time in the market, you look at the price action, more often than not, you tend to be lucky. Excuse me. So the same setup, downtrend. For me, the entry was a VWAP. So VWAP will be the entry. So I didn't want it to get in right away because it is a first break of a downtrend on the hourly chart. So it's like, okay, you know what, that's fine. Let the price action prove itself. What if this starts to come down again and then come here, and then I'll take a long. And if my plan was, if this is the case, I'm going to probably swing. But obviously that didn't happen. So VWAP reclaimed the VWAP, and it gave me a retest. It gave me a retest of a VWAP, and my entry was 700 call. I think this was my entry. I believe either this or this was my entry. And I ended up quickly having a trailing stop loss. When you're having a scalp, there's no reason to give the profits back. So I sold, I think it was a 700 call at 6.6 was my entry, and 8.9, which is about 34%, 35%. This is how I traded Tesla. So I think my sell executed here. It did go slightly up. That's okay. You're only scalping. You're not looking for a good trade in a day which is kind of in the range. So the good news, the market, or at least these tickers, are just basing. So as you can see on the hourly chart, prices did bottom, made a nice rounding bottom. The long will be, this is the level, and we can make another levels in the morning depending on how it does. but I will be more curious at 692 because this is where this 20 EMA on the hourly is. Let's see what the daily is doing on the Tesla. So as you can see, it has made a nice hammer candle. Is it a bottom or it's a downtrend? We don't know. RSI did go downwards and then it is plateauing, and let's see if during the daytime we have some confirmation that it is going upward. If that is happening on Thursday, on 30th June, we'll take a look at that. Let's see what the hourly RSI is doing. So hourly is, yes, it has gave you this nice rounding bottom on it, and somehow it is finding a resistance at that 40 level, which is a, for me, zone. Anything below is a bearish zone. So you do want to make sure that, yes, so this will be a kind of a zone 694 to 696. You can even take a 700 as a psych level and say, okay, price is over 700, I will probably go on a long side. So same thing, I think Netflix, I'm particularly interested what this is going to do tomorrow, and this is the reason. Same price action, same type of candle, and then it is a finding a support on this candle. I think you could make something like this, yes. So it is finding a support at this one. So I have 1 point here, 2nd point here. All I need is a connect these two and expect the third trend line at the third point to be either respected, or if it is broken down, I expect a close below this, or if not, the next day up, going up, get rejected, and that will be an entry. So I'll still enter somewhere around this because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know, I will probably keep this also in the same range. So at least you have a 6 points which are telling you that yes, prices are respecting it in the form of support or resistance at this 176 zone. So let's see what market is doing tomorrow. Let's see if there are any other tickers. I think the chips have been pretty weak. I am interested in this one, but I would like to see whether this floor is breached. So this will be a level for me to watch and see how the prices are doing. If I am on the long side, I'm gonna move this one on slightly right there. Recent price action will carry a lot more weightage than the old one. This is a resistance, so essentially it will become a zone. So this is a zone you want to target and see if the prices are respecting this one or not. So I would be going long above this one. If a rejection here will be an ideal entry because your stop loss will be right over that on the put side. If you are on a long and somehow the market is coming and respecting this level again, so it's okay, prices, if they are going down, I don't enter short right there. For me, the goal will be recapture of this level and then I enter. In that case, that will be my entry. I don't look at the VWAP at that point. I don't look at the 9 EMA at that point. For me, it's a recapture of a daily important level. And when that happens, you know, you go with, because even in this particular day, prices did recapture. So if we are taking, let's say, NVIDIA on the 5-minute chart, here is your level, but since this is a range day, this sort of, and obviously, you know, you have to take into account what happened yesterday. After such a hefty price fall, you are expecting a range, so that's why you would not take. But normally, if you want to take these sort of trade after the range day is over, you should be able to go for it. Tomorrow I'm gonna be little careful because it's rare to have just 1 day of a breather. That would be your level again, 1 day of a breather. So it could go for another range and then flush down or go up. So it's okay, you know, you don't have to you know, go with the direction at this point. So let's see what prices are doing, and we go from there. So hopefully you like this. So please share these videos if you're able to, and you know, certainly like them. You know, put a comment, that will help me. That's my motivation. That's only motivation. I'm not expecting anything from you guys in return. So like them, share them, put a comment, ask me the questions, and I think those will be the areas I would be at least expecting some help from you guys. All right, cheers.